Amazing twist! A brave girl reveals Mafia boss's shivering daughter's hidden struggle in the rain. Lily pulled her collar tight against the chilling wind, droplets drenching her hair as she strode through the deserted streets, a determined flicker in her eye. The thunder above mirrored her racing thoughts, reminding her of the scholarship application looming before her, a ticket to the medical school of her dreams. It dangled like a lustrous siren, promising freedom from the relentless weight of her family's struggles. Yet the price, always the price, haunted her. How much of herself would she need to sacrifice for this chance? She stepped into the dim light of a storefront awning, catching her breath while the rain persisted, tapping a rhythm against the pavement. That's when she noticed a figure across the street, shivering beneath an expensive jacket. At first glance, she looked like a porcelain doll, dressed for an elegant occasion, but marred by the elements. Intrigued and startled, Lily's heart sank when their eyes met, recognizing hopelessness behind the facade. Sophia. The name echoed through Lily's mind with a mixture of disbelief and recognition. The girl who seemed to embody wealth, privilege, and power was now a mere shadow of that. Unsure of why, Lily approached. "Are you okay?" she ventured, voice barely cutting through the wind's roar. Sophia's gaze dropped. "I'm fine," she replied, but the quiver in her voice belied her words. In that moment, Lily saw through the mask of confidence, recognizing something achingly familiar, the weight of expectations. Both girls stood in their own storms, each tangled in the thorns of their respective lives. "Fine doesn't look like that," Lily said, her tone softening. Moments passed, and like a dam bursting, Sophia spilled her heart, cloaked whispers of rebellion against her father's iron grip. "I don't want to follow his path. I want to be something," she confessed, her vulnerability catching Lily off guard, like watching a flame flicker in the storm. Lily felt an unexpected rush of empathy. She was enthralled by the idea of freedom, something she yearned for but couldn't grasp. But this connection felt risky. Torn, she contemplated her own battle with expectations. Her goal to become a doctor glistened in the distance, an unreachable star, overshadowed by her fears and the sacrifices it demanded. She was already weary from juggling relentless homework and nights spent wishing for relief for her family. "Maybe we could," Lily hesitated, the air thick with vulnerability, "find a way to help each other?" But the thought sent a shiver down her spine. What was she proposing? Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The storm raged around them, an angry metaphor for their lives intertwined. Lily could feel her pulse quickening, the taste of desperation sharp in the air. Sophia's father had the power to shatter her dreams at a flick of his wrist, but that same influence dangled a scholarship within reach of Lily. She shivered at the thought. Would she dare align herself with someone like Sophia, whose life could trap her in shadows she had fought to escape? Fear twisted in her stomach, gnawing at her as she confronted the truth. The price of her success might demand more than just hard work. It might demand her very soul, integrity, friendship. As Lily searched Sophia's eyes, she saw a mirror reflecting her own uncertainties, her traps of loyalty, and the crippling cost tied to her dreams. A decision loomed heavy in the air, a choice that would change everything. Would she be willing to risk it all, to tear down the very barriers of their separate worlds? Or would she be swallowed by the storm, left with nothing but the fragments of missed opportunity? The wind howled, wrapping around Lily and Sophia like a shroud as they stood together, two unlikely souls tangled in a web of circumstance and shared desperation. The deluge soaked through to Lily's bones, yet a fire ignited within her, one filled with the raw energy of possibility. Help each other? Lily pondered, the words reverberating off the damp pavement. What did that even mean? For Lily, helping meant stepping into a chasm of uncertainty, risking everything she had fought to achieve. But seeing Sophia's eyes, a reflection of her own fears and desires, made the prospect seem both daunting and strangely hopeful. "Tell me what you want, Sophia," Lily asked, her voice steadier now, demanding honesty. "What does being something look like for you?" Sophia's brow furrowed, contemplating the question. "I want to study art, but my father insists I follow in his footsteps, into a world where I don't belong." The tremor in her voice betrayed the fierce rebellion simmering just beneath the surface. Lily felt a jolt of understanding. They were both trapped, but perhaps together they could forge a new path. "Then let's figure this out," she said, surprising herself with the clarity of her proposal. "You help me with the scholarship, and I'll help you with whatever it takes to explore your art." Sophia blinked, a flicker of disbelief mingled with hope. "You really mean that?" Lily swallowed hard. The very notion threatened her stability, but at that moment, standing in that relentless storm, she recognized an undeniable truth. Vulnerability could intersect with strength. "Yes," she affirmed, her resolve hardening. "We both have something to gain." The two girls exchanged a tentative smile before the shadows of doubt crept back into the conversation. "But have you considered the stakes? My father, he won't let this go," Sophia warned, eyes glancing nervously around as if the storm would summon him. "If you ally with me, it could jeopardize your future." "I'm already risking it every day," Lily countered, an unexpected fierceness in her tone. "I'd rather fight alongside you than watch you wither under his expectations. We have a chance here." Lily's heart raced as a plan slowly formed in her mind. Their worlds were drastically different, but perhaps that's where their strength lay. With Sophia's connections and resources, they could tactically strategize against the barriers each faced. "What do we do first?" Sophia asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty but laced with newfound determination. "We need to gather information, find out what your father's expectations really are and how they affect not just you, but his empire," Lily replied, her analytical mind kicking into gear. "And I need to finalize my scholarship application soon." With a deep breath, the weight of both their fears and ambitions hung heavy yet palpable. Together, they could steal glances of their desires from the corners of their overlapped worlds. As they discussed next steps, a revelation ignited within Lily. This collaboration didn't just offer her an opportunity to escape her stagnant life. It promised to sharpen her ambition, pushing her toward the success her family needed. What if their partnership could become a foundation for both of their aspirations? But lurking at the edge of their conversation loomed an unsettling reality. Would that foundation stand strong against external forces? Could they conquer their dissonance without threatening their integrity? The storm began to abate, but industries of doubt and fear swirled around them, ready to unleash at any moment. Lily grasped Sophia's arm, their fates intertwined like storm clouds in the sky. "Let's fight for our futures," she urged, knowing their first encounter was just the beginning of something far greater. But just as they shared this fragile bond, a car screeched to a halt nearby. A man in a tailored suit stepped out, a piercing gaze sweeping across the weathered street, and Lily's heart sank. He was here, Sophia's father. The moment of truth had arrived, and for both girls, their very lives hung in the balance. Would they stand firm against his looming shadow, or would the storm they sought to weather unravel them completely? Panic surged through Lily as Sophia's father approached. The man emanated authority, his tailored suit a stark contrast to the grim surroundings. Lily had never met him, but the knowledge of his reputation sent tendrils of fear curling around her heart. He was not just an overbearing parent. He was a man who wielded power in a way that throbbed within the community like a pulse. "Stay behind me," Lily whispered to Sophia, instinct kicking in. Their previous resolve felt fragile now, the stakes higher than they had even imagined. Would he see the bond they had forged as a threat, an insurgent rebellion that needed to be snuffed out? Sophia nodded, her eyes wide and glassy, a mix of fear and resignation. As her father neared, she shrank back slightly, and Lily instinctively positioned herself between them, her heart pounding in her chest. "What do you want?" she challenged, the words escaping her lips as an act of defiance she didn't know she had in her. He paused, considering her like an intriguing puzzle he had yet to solve. "I want my daughter." The coldness in his voice cut through the rain, a deliberate command to subdue any challenge. "What are you doing here?" The disappointment in his tone struck Lily like a tangible blow. How could he see his daughter's aspirations as something to quash? For the first time, she saw the intricate web of expectations wrapped around Sophia. It was not merely a desire to pursue art, it was a collision course between two separate lives. "I'm helping her to pursue her dreams," Lily countered, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. "You should support her, not confine her." His expression hardened, each word a deliberate step back toward his authoritarian nature. "She is a blank slate, meant to inherit my legacy. You have no idea what you're getting involved in." The warning hung in the air, thick with the threat of consequences. But Lily's indignation swelled within her. "You underestimate both of us," she declared, surprising herself with the fortitude in her words. It wasn't just rebellion, it felt like claiming her own space in a world that had often felt hushed and restrained. Sophia stepped forward, her shoulders squared. "I'm not a legacy. I'm a person, and I want to paint, to create, to be more than just what you expect from me." The tremor that had once plagued her voice now radiated strength, and Lily couldn't help but admire the fire sparking in her friend's eyes. The air turned electric, the dynamic shifting, as if the storm had broken free within the conversation. The father's face betrayed nothing, but Lily sensed the tremors of uncertainty begin to ripple through his composure. Was he momentarily taken aback by the bravery of two young women standing against his dominion? But with a steely glare, he shot back. "You think it's just about you? I have built an empire on sacrifices, and your little dreams won't dismantle it." Lily felt the tension gripping her chest as she wrestled with his reaction. His empire felt insurmountable, but she had something he clearly underestimated: resolve fueled by genuine conviction. With cautious determination, she continued, "And your empire is built on fear. Is that really what you want for Sophia?" The words hung like a heavy fog, masking the precarious nature of their alliance. The man seemed poised to strike back, to reclaim control of his narrative. Sophia glanced at Lily, a small flicker of hope dancing in her eyes, as if she too could feel their united strength. Daunting as it seems, Lily thought, this was not just about a scholarship or dreams. It was about redefining what family meant in a world riddled with expectations. Sophia's father's jaw tightened, and he scanned their faces, an internal war brewing in his gaze. The moment of truth had arrived. Would he unleash the wrath of his authority, or could a crack in his armor allow for a new understanding? Silence enveloped them, pregnant with possibility, until his phone buzzed violently in his pocket. He stepped back, the call clearly pulling him away, but the tension between them remained palpable. "Consider this," he spat, his voice now a low growl. "I won't let you destroy her future." With that, he turned sharply on his heel, but as he walked away, Lily felt a new wave of determination washing over her. They had momentarily stood against the tide, but what would it take to keep standing? Sophia looked at Lily with a hint of defiance blooming in her posture. "Now what?" Sophia asked, urgency lacing her tone. Lily felt the weight of the world shift, her mind racing to strategize the next steps. How could they harness the flicker of empowerment they had ignited today? The stakes had risen, and they both knew the fight for their aspirations was far from over. Just as they began to exchange ideas, a figure emerged from the shadows, a presence that made Lily's stomach churn. Someone else from Sophia's world was approaching, an unpredictable complication. The question loomed in the air. Was this another ally or another adversary? The winds of change had only just begun to sweep through their lives, and the next chapter was unfurling with the tension of unresolved conflict. Lily straightened, focusing on the emerging figure, her heart thrumming in sync with the rumble of distant thunder. The silhouette sharpened into recognition: Janine, Sophia's maternal cousin. The way she glided toward them, unbothered by the rain, exuded an air of confidence that contrasted sharply with the tension that had just enveloped the moment. "Lily, Sophia," Janine said, her voice cool and staccato, revealing little of her own thoughts. "What are you doing here?" Sophia asked, a mix of relief and apprehension threading her words. There was an unsaid history between Janine and her father, one that could either complicate their fight or provide the leverage they so desperately needed. Janine glanced at the retreating figure of Sophia's father, and a fleeting smirk pulled at her lips. "Looks like someone's been playing the hero again." Her tone dripped with sarcasm, but Lily detected a spark of something deeper. Awareness, perhaps. "Something like that," Lily replied, managing a smile despite the circumstances. "And you must be tired of being in the shadows." With an exaggerated sidelong glance at Sophia, Janine replied, "I play the role of the dutiful daughter well, but how long can you live in someone else's expectations without breaking?" Lily's sharpness was piqued. Janine's words struck a nerve, resonating with the conflict swirling in her own mind. This was exactly what she had feared would happen: family. Ties that wrapped around Sophia's heart like barbed wire. "Do you see how he's suffocating her?" she countered, impatience bubbling just below her surface. "The system we're in doesn't just allow breathing space," Janine interjected with a surprising intensity. "It thrives on suffocation, and I know it all too well. Trust me, I had my moment." She shuddered briefly, and for a second, the facade of indifference slipped. "Then help us," Sophia implored, stepping closer to Janine, who stood defensively at an impasse. "You know my father better than anyone. If he can't be reasoned with, then what can we do?" A storm of emotions flickered across Janine's face. Curiosity battled against caution. "You two have guts, but guts alone won't protect you. His court isn't just a family matter. It's an empire built on fear, like my mom always said." Understanding washed over Lily. Fear was not just a driving force. It was a chain firmly anchored at the feet of every dream Sophia had. Each ambition shackled by her father's iron-heavy legacy. "Maybe we can turn fear into leverage," Lily suggested, a plan forming in her mind that felt both reckless and empowering. "Can you think of a way to counteract your uncle's control?" Janine hesitated. Through her, the trap was visible, yet so was the way to understanding. "There are weaknesses," she conceded, her voice lower. "But to go after them means stepping into the precarious. You'll need to commit fully." Lily felt a rush of adrenaline. "Then let's commit. The world isn't changing for Sophia without a fight." Sophia's hopeful gaze reflected back the determination Lily had not known was brewing inside her, revealing hidden strength. However, doubt crept in. What if they failed? Or worse, what if his empire retaliated more viciously than they imagined? But emerging from the shadows alongside Janine felt like the first step, less like scrapping their way out and more like seizing a foothold to push back. "Think about it, Janine. What do we have to lose?" she pressed, her conviction solid. But before Janine could answer, a distant siren wailed, slicing through the tension. The moment shifted, unexpected urgency coursing through the trio, the unease of external forces pressing in. Sophia's eyes widened. "What is that?" Janine's face paled. "That's not good. I need to go." "Wait," Lily called, frustration mounting. How could Janine pull back now, leaving everything hanging? But the resolve flickering in her cousin's eyes indicated that whatever faced her now was far more pressing than just their confrontation. "I'll reach out when I can," Janine promised, raising her hand in a dismissive wave before bolting into the rain, vanishing into the shadows. Left with Sophia, their hopes momentarily scattered, Lily felt the intensity of the moment drain, but realized this was a fork in their path. They needed to capitalize on Janine's brief insight. If she knows about the weaknesses within their empire, we might strategize our next move from here. Sophia nodded slowly, but her voice trembled. "And if we fight back and lose?" Lily met her gaze, steadying herself, recognizing they were standing at the precipice of their futures. "Then we go down fighting, but I refuse to let fear dictate our path any longer." Just then, a flicker of movement caught Lily's peripheral vision. Another figure emerging from the rain, casting an intent look in their direction. Who was it this time? An ally or an enemy? The final pieces of their story felt precariously intertwined, and Lily couldn't shake the sense that the real fight was just beginning. The figure emerging from the rain drew nearer, illuminated by a fleeting flash of lightning. Lily squinted through the downpour, her heart racing. It could be anyone, another ally, a foe, or an unexpected threat. As the silhouette transformed into a recognizable shape, she let out a shaky breath. It was Mary, Sophia's once estranged childhood friend, her face pale with anxiety. "Lily, Sophia!" Mary shouted, nearly drowning out the thunder, her voice tinged with urgency despite the rain's relentless pounding. "You need to come with me, now!" Sophia exchanged a worried glance with Lily. "What's going on?" "We're not safe here," Mary insisted, a quiver of fear in her words. "There's talk, serious talk. Your father isn't just angry, he's planning something drastic." Drastic. The word hovered in the air, thick and tangible, bringing Lily's sense of urgency to a new peak. "What do you mean?" Mary took a step closer, her voice barely rising above the storm. "He's brought in people to teach you a lesson. I overheard. It could get violent." The notion clenched at Lily's chest. A chilling image of retaliation unfolded in her mind. Something worse than just familial tension, threats that drove at the very core of their existence. This wasn't merely about Sophia and her father. This was a battle against an empire willing to crush those who dared oppose it. "Do you really think they'd go that far?" Sophia asked, disbelief etched on her features, even as fear danced in her eyes. Mary shook her head, her dark hair heavy and plastered against her forehead. "I didn't think so either. But your father has always had a way of escalating things, controlling every piece of this game. Look, I don't want to scare you more than you already are, but we need a plan." Determination surged through Lily, mingling with panic. They couldn't let fear dictate their actions anymore. "We need to confront him. It's the only way to regain our power." Mary's eyes widened in shock. "Confront him? Are you serious, Lily? Don't you see how dangerous he is? This isn't just a family squabble." "But if we do nothing," Lily retorted, cutting Mary off, "he'll only tighten his grip on Sophia." Sophia's expression hardened, her innate rebellion igniting. "Lily's right. He can't keep throttling our lives. It's time we stopped waiting and started acting." Mary opened her mouth, hesitating. Lily could see the wheels turning in her mind, the internal conflict. It was the same struggle they all faced, the desire for safety fighting against the yearning for control over their fates. "Okay," Mary finally said, her voice steadying, "but we need a strategy. We can't just storm his castle without understanding what we're getting into. Janine, she mentioned weaknesses. Can we use that?" "Perhaps," Lily mused, her thoughts racing. "If there's any vulnerability in his empire, we need to exploit it. Trust isn't a luxury for us anymore." Sophia's determination radiated like firelight in the dim surroundings, but the weight of uncertainty loomed heavy. Would they be able to match their courage with the necessary strategies? The rain slowed to a drizzle, an ominous calm settling around them. "We're doing this together," Lily affirmed, glancing at both girls. "No more secrets, no more hiding. We're capable of more than we know." A flicker of doubt gnawed at the edges of her resolve, but she pushed it aside. What other choice did they have? The rising tension in her chest felt palpable. They gathered their resolve, a fragment of clarity amidst the storm's remnants. Just as they were about to plot their approach, a new shadow emerged from the murky backdrop. A man, with his face obscured by a hood, watching them. "Who are you?" Lily called out, her pulse quickening once more. "Just someone who knows too much," he replied, his voice low and gravelly. "And someone who can help. But help comes at a cost." Lily's heart raced anew, her instincts flaring. This twist could either be their salvation or an even deeper betrayal. She exchanged glances with Sophia and Mary, the question hanging heavy. Were they ready to pay the price for the knowledge he possessed? The fight wasn't just external anymore, it was spiraling into a maze of unknowns. As the man stepped closer, uncertainty wrapped around them like the fading storm. What cost lay ahead in this storm of entangled fates? Lily's mind raced as the man's words hung in the air, an uneasy mix of temptation and dread. She scrutinized his disheveled form, the shadows of the rain-soaked night cloaking him in mystery. This was no mere stranger. He held a key to power, but with every lock, there was a risk. "Help us first, and then we'll discuss the cost," Lily replied, her voice steadier than she felt. The defiance surged within her, propelling her past the paralyzing fluctuations of doubt. At this moment, she had to appear unwavering, both for her friends and for herself. The man pulled back his hood, revealing sharp features and piercing blue eyes that glinted like shards of ice. "I have information on your father's plans. He won't hesitate to act. But understand, the cost isn't just currency, it's trust. You'll need to rely on me, and I want something in return." "What do you want?" Mary interjected, defiance snapping in her tone. He smirked slightly, a calculated gleam in his gaze. "Just a few favors. Your father's empire has weaknesses. I know them, but sharing them requires cooperation." Lily exchanged a look with Sophia and Mary, weighing the man's words. The desire for knowledge wrestled with the instinct to remain cautious. Trust was a luxury they couldn't afford, yet the thought of walking blindly into confrontation was even more daunting. "Fine," she said finally, her tone firm. "But this collaboration doesn't start until we know exactly what we're dealing with. Show us your knowledge, and then we'll decide." The man nodded, as if expecting her response. "There are 3 areas you need to exploit. Your father's financial commitments are shaky. Find out where he's pouring resources. Leveraging that could draw him away from pursuing you. His inner circle is rife with tension. Rivalries exist that you can exploit. And lastly, he fears the unknown. Use that." "So we turn his own tactics against him," Sophia whispered, her eyes brightening with a mixture of excitement and resolve. "Exactly," the man confirmed. "Create a distraction that highlights his vulnerabilities. But first, convince your allies. Gather those who fear him, but also question just how far his reach extends." "Ally with people who have reason to oppose him," Lily said, her heart racing at the possibility. "But how? He knows everyone in this town." The man waved his hand dismissively. "That's just it. Not everyone. There are those who despise your father's control. Reach out, find allies in the shadows. They're waiting for a chance." A quiet determination settled over Lily, hardening her resolve. She wasn't just a girl trapped in the web of the powerful, she could become the architect of her liberation. This was her moment to leverage every ounce of her intellect and courage against the dictatorship of her father. Yet uncertainty clouded her mind. Who could be trusted? How far would she need to stretch her values? "Lily?" Sophia's voice broke through her reverie. "We need to make this decision now." "Yes, we do," Lily admitted, uncertainty creeping around the edges of her newly forged conviction. "But trusting him could put us at risk. If we place ourselves in his hands, it could be the only option we have," Mary interjected, her brows furrowed in contemplation. Let's take the risk, Lily decided, adrenaline coursing through her veins. But we'll remain vigilant. Trust needs to be earned, and if he betrays us, we'll be prepared. As they clasped their hands together in a united front, a nagging doubt clawed at Lily's stomach. Did they truly have the strength to unravel an empire built on fear? The thought of facing her father, an adversarial force capable of immense cruelty, loomed over her like a storm cloud. With one final glance toward the man, she felt the weight of their decisions settle in her bones. They were stepping into uncertainty, carrying the hopes of others who were similarly oppressed. Now, the man said with urgency, shadowing her thoughts, time is not on your side. We need to move. Heavily once more, washing away remnants of their previous hesitations, Lily felt the gravity of her situation. Each step they took forward would shape not just their destiny, but the very fabric of their resistance. But behind them, a whisper of memory cracked the surface of her confidence. Was she prepared to confront the truth of her lineage with the same fervor she aimed at dismantling her father's authority? This question loomed large, echoing silently as Lily led them forward into the darkness of the unfolding storm. What truths lay ahead that could shake the foundations of her determination? The rain intensified as they hurried into the night, the world around them dissolving into a blur of shadows and water. Lily's pulse quickened, not just from the chill that enveloped her, but from the weight of her responsibility. Each drop seemed to echo the force of her father's reach, a force she had underestimated until now. "Lily, what's our first move?" Sophia asked, her breath forming clouds in the cold air, her eyes scanning the surroundings nervously. For a moment, Lily hesitated. The hazy map of their strategy was etched in her mind, but reality had a way of skewing expectations. "We need contacts, right? We could start with the ones your father likely overlooked. They'll be businesses he's tried to crush, people he's intimidated into silence." Mary nodded resolutely. "And if we find their grievances compelling enough, they'll join us. There's strength in numbers, even if we're starting from nothing. We'll need a place to regroup, too," Sophia added. With urgency fueling her, Lily led the way to a nearby cafe that served as a refuge for the outcast. She remembered it well from her childhood, a place where folks swapped stories and grievances over steaming cups of coffee. The chance to appeal to those who felt abandoned by her father's empire gave her hope. As they reached the cafe, the peeling paint and flickering lights welcomed them like an old friend. Inside, the aroma of burnt coffee mingled with the warmth of whispered conversations. The owner, a stout man named Carl, had always been a talker, holding court over a scattered group of loyal patrons. "Carl," Lily called out, her voice cutting through the low hum of chatter. The instant their eyes met, a flash of recognition passed between them. "Lily, my girl, what brings you here? I thought you were still wrapped up in your father's affairs," he said, concern etching his features. With her friends behind her, Lily stepped toward him, weighing her words. "I need your help. This isn't about my father anymore. It's about a change. I want to help others like us." "What's changed?" Carl asked skeptically, lowering his voice as though afraid of who might overhear. "My friends and I," she gestured toward Mary and Sophia, "are working on something bigger to counter his influence. We want to gather those who oppose him." Carl's eyes narrowed, assessing her sincerity. Doubt flickered across his face, but it was quickly replaced by something more hopeful. "You know how dangerous that can be, right? He's got eyes everywhere. You can't just go waving a flag around." "Then let's not wave flags. Let's start quietly by sowing the seeds of dissent," Lily replied, her determination crystallizing. "People need to know they're not alone. They can stand with us." As Carl nodded slowly, an understanding blossomed between them. Lily felt a surge of empowerment. She was stepping into a role she never fully understood until now. She was not just running from her father's shadow, she was presenting herself as a beacon to others. The cafe soon began to fill with tensions and debates as word spread and voices grew louder with tales of oppression under her father's regime. The silhouettes of future allies began to take shape, solidifying Lily's conviction. Each debate was a reminder that she had the potential to inspire courage, creating a ripple that could spread through the community like wildfire. But amid the bustle, a gnawing fear clutched at her heart. The longer she stayed in this role, the more she had to confront who she truly was. The daughter of a mafia kingpin was awakening a truth she couldn't shake off, one that came with its own burdens and expectations. "We need to remain cautious," Mary warned as they stepped outside, the rain now a mere drizzle. "Every conversation puts us at risk." "Yes," Lily replied, suddenly aware of the eyes that might be watching. "But if we're calculated, we can stay one step ahead." As they walked through the wet streets, the incessant rain fell like a steady drum, each drop a reminder of the uncertainty ahead. Together, they were embarking on a treacherous path, but Lily felt the stirrings of resolve in her core. The battle for her identity was intertwined with their fight against her father's empire. Yet the looming question remained: was she ready to embrace the truth of who she was while dismantling the world he had built? With every step she took, the weight of her lineage pressed against her like the rain-soaked fabric clinging to her skin. Could she reconcile these facets of her identity, or would the truth prove to be her greatest adversary yet? What awaited her beneath the surface of her father's shadow could either empower her fight or dismantle her resolve. Lily's strides quickened as the rain eased, but her mind raced with the urgency of their mission. Each conversation she'd had reaffirmed her belief in the cause, yet the weight of her heritage loomed larger, threatening to overwhelm her newfound purpose. "Where do we start?" Sophia asked, her voice breaking through Lily's swirling thoughts. It jolted her back to the present. Carl mentioned a few places where people gather to talk, underground bars, markets where his men don't often tread. They might be hesitant to take a stand, but if we can get them to share their stories, we can turn that uncertainty into action, Lily replied, her determination growing. Mary's brow furrowed with concern. "And what if your father finds out? We could put ourselves in serious danger." Lily paused, the weight of Mary's words sinking in. "I understand the risks, but staying silent is not an option. We can't let fear dictate our actions." That conviction pulsed within her, igniting something she didn't know she possessed, a resolve sparked by the prospect of rebellion against the world her father had crafted. This was not just a fight against her father, it was a battle for her identity and the kind of person she wanted to become. With a renewed sense of purpose, the three of them set out to uncover the voices silenced for too long. They navigated the winding streets and finally found a small, dimly lit bar nestled between two derelict buildings. The sign dangling above the door creaked ominously, but life simmered within. Inside, an eclectic group filled the space, sharing laughter punctuated by sighs of discontent. The low light cloaked individuals in anonymity, each one with a story. As they approached the bar, an older gentleman with a thick, bristly beard caught her eye. He was staring into his glass, his expression unfocused, as if lost somewhere far away. "Let's start with him," Lily whispered, pointing subtly. Mary and Sophia nodded, and together they approached. Lily took a breath, stepping into her role. "Hi there, I'm Lily," she said, surprising herself with the steadiness of her voice. "We're looking to talk to anyone who's willing to share their story about how things have changed around here." He looked up, a mix of skepticism and curiosity in his gaze. "And why would I want to talk to you? You're one of them." Lily's heart raced, the sting of his words cutting deeper than she expected. "I'm not proud of who my father is. I want to help change that. We want to stand with you, not against you." His brows furrowed, uncertainty flickering in his eyes. "Change comes with a cost, girl. I don't work for free, and I'm not risking my neck for anyone." Lily felt frustration bubble within her, but kept her composure. "We don't expect you to work for nothing. This isn't a fight for profit. It's about regaining our lives, our dignity. We have the potential to make an impact if we start sweeping away the fear." A moment crushed under the weight of silence. Around them, conversations murmured, almost in suspended animation. The bar began to feel stifling, the tension palpable. Finally, as if sensing the limits of Lily's patience, he unfurled a slight smile, derailing her annoyance. "You may have the spirit, but spirit alone doesn't fend off treachery. This fight will test you in ways you can't imagine." Lily locked eyes with him, understanding the truth tangled with his words. With each word exchanged, she confronted the duality of her identity, both the corporate hierarch and the advocate for. She wasn't just stepping outside her father's shadow, she was forging a new path and daring to blaze ahead. As they concluded their conversation, he leaned closer, whispering, "Tell me, how far are you truly willing to go?" The question hung in the air like thunder, resonating deeply within her. The reality of this fight wasn't just about gathering allies, it was about confronting her past and the legacy she was determined to redefine. The following day would demand her to act, not just in word, but in deed. With resolve tightening in her chest, Lily stepped back into the rain, feeling the chill circling her, but knowing she was no longer just the daughter of a mafia kingpin. She was someone who could challenge that very empire. What dark revelations awaited in her pursuit for allies? And would the shadows she was trying to escape ultimately draw her back in? The morning light struggled to break through the clouds as Lily sat at the kitchen table, her fingers tracing the outline of a napkin covered in notes from the previous night. Each scribble represented a voice, a story waiting to be heard, but also a reminder of her father's looming presence. Today's mission weighed heavily on her as she prepared to attend a gathering of disgruntled workers at an old factory, one of the last strongholds of resistance against her family's influence. "What's the plan?" Sophia's voice cut through the silence, her head leaning on the table, concern woven into her features. "I think I'll start by finding common ground," Lily replied, unsure of her own strategy. "If we can establish trust, they might open up. I just need to remember that I'm not their enemy, even if they see my last name as a brand of betrayal." Mary, sipping her coffee, looked up with an earnest gaze. "You know they'll test you. They'll want to see if you really care or if this is just a game for you." The edge in her voice sparked something in Lily. "It's not a game. I'm risking everything to change how people see me, and your faith in this is part of that change." She felt anger rise at the notion that her motives might be questioned when she had spent countless hours wrestling with the decision to break free from her father's shadow. This was about more than the rebellion. It was about reclaiming parts of herself she never thought possible. As they prepared to leave, a familiar tension coiled in her stomach. She once heard her father say that every venture into rival territory was a dance with danger. Clenching her fists, Lily steadied herself. She had chosen this path, and she would not turn back. Upon arriving at the factory, the ambiance shifted dramatically. The air was heavy with the scent of machinery and rust, long since forgotten by the world above. As workers filed in, their faces reflected exhaustion and uncertainty. She could see them, edge by edge, drawn together. But burdened with distrust, Lily made her way to the center of the grimy floor, her heartbeat loud in her ears as she called for attention. "I'm Lily, and I want to talk about how we can demand what's been lost to us." Her voice wavered, but her passion ignited the room. Boisterous murmurs swept through the crowd, eyes narrowing upon her. "What do you know of loss?" one man barked, his face taut with resentment. "You were born into privilege." He was right, and the truth stung. "You're right," Lily admitted, taking a step closer. "But that privilege has become a weight. I'm not here to shield myself or my family's reputation. I'm here to help reclaim what they've taken from all of you, including respect." The whisper of disbelief lingered in the air, but she pressed on. We must unite, not to topple one man, but to rise as individuals who deserve more than the scraps left behind. Their expressions softened, yet the man who had questioned her continued to observe, hawkish and skeptical. And what if you fail? You're risking lives for a cause you've only just joined. This was the pivotal moment. She felt the ground shift beneath her, an invitation to deeply confront the gravity of her quest. The fear of failure had haunted her dreams, yet she had to become a bridge, not a barrier. She squared her shoulders. Failure is part of this fight, but silence is acceptance. Isn't it worth the risk to fight back? Energy surged through the crowd, transforming their despondency into something fierce and resolute. She was challenging them, but more importantly, she was confronting her own insecurities. This was her growth, testing her ability to connect past with present. Before she could absorb the shift in sentiment, a sharp voice pierced through the renewed atmosphere. Why should we trust you? Your blood runs cold with betrayal. Lily's heart sank. The accusation was an old wound made raw again. Trust isn't given freely. I can only earn it through actions, not just words. Let me show you how dedicated I am to this. As she stood before them, every conflicting emotion merged into clarity. She wasn't just challenged by the shadows of her past, she was defining herself through the struggle, paving her way into an uncertain future. The air buzzed with speculation. She sensed the moment teetering on the brink, and within it lay a choice that would shape her legacy forever. How would she prove her commitment, and what consequences would arise when she did? Lily felt the weight of the crowd's scrutiny pressing down on her as she stood at the center of the factory floor. This was a pivotal moment, not just for her, but for the people who had gathered. She was no longer merely a girl seeking escape from her father's shadow. She was becoming a catalyst for change. The fiery resolve inside her burned brighter than it ever had, fueled by the knowledge that honesty would be her best weapon. Taking a deep breath, she faced the crowd, gathering her thoughts. I understand your anger. I grew up witnessing the hurt my family's empire causes. I've been silent for far too long. But it's time to amplify your voices, to fight back with purpose. The air thickened with uncertainty, yet something shifted in their expressions. It was as if a flicker of hope against the backdrop of despair ignited within them. Let me show you how dedicated I am, how ready I am to support all of you, she declared, her voice unwavering. We can strategize together, a collective effort. We can demand respect and change our reality. As murmurs of approval began to ripple through the room, a newfound confidence surged within her. The intimidating specter of her father's empire loomed continuously over her. But here, she was separating herself from that lineage, carving out her identity. Meet me next week, she proposed, the idea bubbling up with urgency. Let's gather again, but in a secure space. Bring your families, your stories of loss and struggle. We can craft a narrative, not just one of fear and oppression, but one of resilience and unity. Together, we'll turn whispers of dissent into a roar. Cheers erupted, an electric surge coursing through the crowd, allowing her to feel their energy wrap around her like a powerful shield. She experienced an overwhelming sense of purpose. These were not just her allies, they were her family of struggle. They'd all fought in their own ways against a system that suffocated dreams, and she could see possibility unfolding before her. Later that evening, as she and Sophia walked home in the fading light, Lily reflected in awe on what they had accomplished. Do you think they really believed me? That I can be trusted? She asked, vulnerability breaking through the brave facade she'd maintained all day. Sophia turned to her, a hint of a smile dancing on her lips. More than just believing, they're following you now. They see the leader in you. The words ignited a spark deep within her, confidence that she could direct her father's empire into something better. It didn't come without risks, but she was starting to see themselves in a different light. She remembered their conversation in the rain, enveloped by shared desperation. It hadn't merely been a fleeting moment, it had become the foundation of a partnership that could shake the very roots of her authority. As days turned into weeks, the meetings continued, and they grew into a driving force that united the factory workers. Lily had pivoted from worrying about her lineage to embracing it. She began to forge alliances with every group held beneath her father's rule, peeling away the fear cloaked over each heart. But then came the day they learned of a major development, an announcement about a large public event orchestrated by her father to unveil a new initiative for the community. It was a perfect stage for them to expose his true nature, but fear gripped her chest. Would unveiling the truth make her an enemy, or would it sever the final ties from which she had spent a lifetime distancing herself? The tensions within her crystallized, and she gathered her allies. This is it, the moment we stand as an unyielding front. We must show what he truly hides beneath the surface of his benevolence, she implored. Yet even as she spoke, doubt clouded her heart. Would they succeed, or would this be the moment to crush the resolve they had fought so hard to build? As she watched their expressions, a wave of understanding enveloped Lily. She had transcended her expectations for herself. She had become a beacon of strength for others. It was a daunting truth to face, but she was ready to confront her father, regardless of the consequences. On the day of the event, armed with every ally she had gathered, Lily stepped onto the steps of the platform beside her father. The spotlight illuminated her form, and for the first time, she felt like she belonged on that stage. Not merely a daughter of an empire, but a fierce advocate for change. We are here for something bigger: justice, dignity, and respect for every person who has felt silenced, she proclaimed, her voice unwavering in the face of opposition that loomed beside her. She could feel Sophia and Mary, her comrades in arms, standing by her side, embodying the hope of countless others. In that decisive moment, she conquered the remnants of her fears, finally realizing that she didn't have to be defined by her past. She could rewrite her future, one forged from a tapestry of silenced voices now united, ready to rise. With the crowd roaring their support, she felt a deep surge of fulfillment and purpose. It wasn't just a moment of triumph, it was a manifestation of every struggle she had endured, transforming her into something more than she had ever dreamed. Today, she had not only stepped out from her father's shadow, but had begun to eclipse it. Within the room and beyond, change was igniting, nourished by the resolve she had fueled. Now, standing atop that stage, her heart swelled with pride. This was who she was destined to become. The echoes of the thunderstorm that brought them together felt like a distant memory, replaced by the sound of voices united in strength. She wouldn't go down without a fight. She would claim her destiny and protect this new identity fiercely. The battle was just beginning, but in this moment, she was armed with allies and certainty. Now was the time to fight for a world she could protect, not from shadows, but for the light of possibility. It wasn't just about her journey, it was about becoming a better version of herself for those who stood beside her, ready to challenge the status quo. If you're inspired by Lily's incredible journey of transformation and resilience, you need to subscribe now and never miss a moment of these exclusive emotional stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this powerful conclusion. Don't wait even one more second to support a channel that believes in the strength of personal stories and the possibilities of change. We want to hear your thoughts. Comment how Lily's journey impacted you and your theories about her next steps. This is the moment to show your support. Let's inspire one another.